And call this meeting to order. Thank you for being with us this evening. Councilman Box, if you'd be so kind.
You join me, please. Father God, I thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you that we can come before you and tell you how holy you are. Thank you that we can acknowledge you in our lives and that we can seek you in everything we do. Lord, help us to have wisdom tonight. Help us to be fair. Help us to listen to your people. Lord, and just help us to understand that some things that we think aren't good actually will turn out for us because we have that promise. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that, sir. Roll call, Councilman London.
Present.
Councilwoman Cuellar.
Here.
Councilman Box.
Present.
Councilman Sims.
Here.
And myself present. At this time, I'd look for a motion for the approval of the minutes from the regular city council meeting of May the 16th, 2023.
Make a motion, we approve the regular city council meeting minutes for May 16th, 2023.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I do abstain due to my lack of presence. Thank you for that. At this time, I would look for a motion for the payment of the current bills.
Motion to pay the bills in the amount of $175,006.28.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. At this time, we would look for any professional or consultants that might need to deliver a report to the council. Any professionals or consultants? All right, fair enough. Mayor, you have the floor, sir.
All right. Thank you, Council President. And I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight to have a chance to be able to hear us deliberate about issues, but as well as to celebrate those who have had some amazing accomplishments since the last council meeting that we had. I want to start off by just going through a few announcements that we've had. I want to thank everyone that came out for the blood drive on May the 24th. It was called The Power of the Blood. We had over 30 some individuals to come and to participate in that event. They told us that it was a great turnout, especially during this time of the year. We had done one in November, and because we did so well in November, they asked us, could they come back for that? So I want to thank everybody that came and participated in the blood drive. Probably about a couple of weeks ago, we had talked about the city having a road pavement plan, and the process began off of Old Overton about a week ago. I went out there to be able to see what was going on. I know that they have paved Buckthorn and that they've gone through the Cahaba Landings neighborhood and they've identified places that needed to be patched. They've already gone through and to be able to do that. If you're listening tonight, I don't want you to think that just because you got a patch, that's it. But they will come back and complete it after they've given the aggregate about a month to cure itself. Also, we had a bingo event on May the 26th. It was called We Got Game. About 170 individuals showed up to that event. I would say Councilwoman Cuellar won something, as well as Councilman London won something at that event. A great community event that we had, and everything is about building community, building the future. I had the chance to be able to meet a couple that had lived in the city of Irondale for 32 years, and they shared with me that they had never participated in anything that had transpired in the city during that time, but they were there for the bingo event. Everybody had a good time, had a chance to be able to get out prizes, but the main thing was being able to fellowship with individuals in the community. Now I go through our calendar. On June the 9th, or Friday, we'll be beginning our movie night series with Finding Nemo. Starts at 7. The movie will begin to roll as soon as it becomes dark. And I think on June the 23rd, the movie is Dirty Dancing. So we got Dirty Dancing on the 23rd. We got Finding Nemo on the 9th. So we want to invite everybody to come out and to be able to participate. We'll have drinks, we'll have popcorn, we'll have hot dogs. But again, you'll have a chance to be able to fellowship with your fellow neighbors. On Saturday, we had the first Irondale Auto Classic event here. Over 200 participants at Classic Car Motorings. The heat was a sweltering heat out there, but I believe that everybody had a good time, and they're going to be here tonight, so I won't share a lot about it, but I will say that I did not know how much people love their vehicles. But we gave out a lot of awards and had a good time. Again, a very diverse event to be able to pull other individuals into the city. There were 3 ribbon cuttings, or 3 new businesses that came in. A couple of them had ribbon cuttings. Holy Roses, which is off of Old Leach Road, Flipsies, which is off Crestwood, and La Vida, which is a hair salon, is in the State Farm building there. All 3 of those businesses had a ribbon cutting on during the month of May, so that was great as well. I thought I was through, but I'm sorry, Council President. But on June the 17th, we're having a cornhole tournament at the Irondale Civic Center. So if you like to participate and be a part of that, I want to say our chief is here. Chief Wiggins is here, and he can help you with getting to the right place if you'd like to register to be a part of it. One of the other things that we're very excited about is the Irondale Farmers and Makers Market on June the 17th. That's going to be the first time that we have it here in the city. We will have over 10 throughout the year. The event is going to take place over on the First Avenue south side of the building. It's going to be from 8 to 10. And the first 250 people that show up will get a fried green tomato. What a fitting event. Farmers market, fried green tomatoes. So we're looking for you all to participate and to come out and be a part of that as well. That completes the verbal portion of my announcements. And now I'll move to the floor to introduce the individuals that participated in the Auto Classic. Then I will have the Irondale Middle School track team to come to the front, and I'll allow Coach Simmons to talk about all of the achievements that they have claimed throughout the school year. And we'll finish it up by having a report from the Cahaba River Society to share what they've been able to do with the investments that the council has approved for them to receive for their organization. And we'll have Beth and B&B, to give that report. But we'll start out with the guys here from the Auto Classic. I'm going to allow you all to introduce yourself and tell them the name of your car club.
My name is Robert Strong, and our car club is Crowd Control.
My name is Trey Rogers.
I'm Isaac Curley.
And my name is Josh Colrin, and this is my wife, Allison. We're a part of a charity organization called Rides for a Reason. We do car shows for charity, so that's what we are.
Also, I wanted to let you all know that this event, they raise funds to be able to help youth sports in the city of Irondale. And they were able to raise over $5,000 on Saturday from other individuals that love their cars. So I want to thank you all personally for all the hard work and everything that you all did during Saturday to make the event a very successful event. I heard that there were 2 other car shows that were going on that were well established than the one that we had because it was the first time, but we had over 200 people to show up, and I know they told me people start showing up at 8 and the event didn't start until 12 o'clock. So you all did a fantastic job. I want to thank you all for bringing your show to the city of Irondale, but most of all, being able to raise funding to be able to help out youth sports. So when the football team is playing and winning this year, you all can believe that you are a part of it because your funding is what's helping to make that possible. Well, we're not gonna let you get off without a check. So let me see. He talked to me. I usually don't have anybody that. All right, thank you all so much. Now I'm going to have Coach Simmons. Coach Simmons, if you would come to the front. I know that you all have done a lot of amazing things this year. You've won a lot of awards. And how long have you been at the middle school? It's first year. So it's first year at the middle school. And I've heard that you all have been very successful. And we wanted to make sure that we recognize and give you all the roses while the roses are still fresh. I know everybody just got out of school, and I didn't know how difficult it was to be to round up everybody since school was out. But I'm going to turn the microphone over to you and let you introduce your team and to be able to call the girls up to the front.
All right, ladies, do you all care to come up front first? Because I don't know whether or not they want to be up here. All right, come on, ladies. All right, we got a couple of gentlemen here as well. They had a really great track season. Gentlemen, y'all come on up here too. All right, while they're walking, they're cool, so they're going to walk slow.
Okay.
I'll talk while they walk. All right, so first of all, thank you all for having us. The young ladies that you see before you, they are the first Irondale Middle School group to win the district championship. They definitely personified all of the things that come along with the championship group. Working through adversity, experiencing all of the highs and the lows of a season, listening to me throughout the season. The gentlemen finished second, so I don't want to leave them out. And we also had a young lady who was the top in her class. She was the top 7th grade sprinter in the state of Alabama, Yari Crawford. She was able, after we won as a team, she was able to run up with Shades Valley, with the high school, and they made it to the state championship, but they came up short in Gulf Shores. The gentlemen, like I said, this was a very talented group, girls and guys. The gentlemen, they came up just short in the district championship, but it was the first time that they had finished this high. It was the first time they had finished second in school history. We had a couple of guys who won district championships in their respective events. We had several girls who won district championships in their respective events, but I think the process, the journey was more important than the prize. And I hope what the process taught them was, if you stay the course, you can accomplish anything that you set out to accomplish. If you understand what comes along with it beforehand, and you are able to work through tough circumstances, you're able to accomplish the things that you are setting out to accomplish. the mayor did not, I don't think, remembered an address that he gave at our 8th grade ceremony where he said, "Don't underestimate us." That was something that we carried with us throughout the season. The toughest thing is winning the first championship. That's the toughest, because after that there's a blueprint, there's a map, and you can revert back or refer back to the map and always have success. So I'm proud of these young people because they created that map, and we'll always be able to refer back to it because they were able to do it, and we know that it can be done. So thank you all for having us. Thank you all for having us. And go Mounties. Yes. So this is Callie, and she was our expert hurdler. Her mom didn't always like the fact that she was our expert hurdler because it came with a couple of bruises, but she did great. And she high jumped, hurdled, and ran the relay. This is Caitlin. She also hurdled and did just about anything that I asked her to do. She sprinted, she jumped. Incredible athlete. Yari, like I said before, she finished as the best 7th grade, one of the best 7th grade sprinters, the best 100-meter and long jump 7th grader, and one of the top 200 sprinters in her class. We have who I refer to as the baby boss, Zaya Ware, who also was here to get acknowledged for winning the volleyball championship, and it was their first volleyball championship as well. Osmond Williams, Dallas Shanks were anchors and really important pieces on our guys track team. So that's that. There were 12 young ladies and I think 18 boys. All right, and they're here representing both teams. So thank you all, parents. Thank you all, and again, Mayor, Council. Thank you all.
All right, Miss Ware. Okay, what's your last name? Breeze. Are you the one that sent me the email? Miss Crawford. At this council meeting today, I make a commitment that I am going to be so involved with the track team at the middle school for the next season that you are going to get tired of seeing me at events and being involved and also helping to be able to bring support to the team to help you all throughout the year. We have it on tape, and we got all these people that are in the room that I'm committed, or I'm giving my commitment tonight to stand into the gap and to be able to make sure that the track team will have what they need to compete for or compete with next year. You call me out on that email, but that's fine. I mean, it's good to have a mother that will stand and call things as so they be. I mean, so she was the one. We weren't responsible. I can't say that we called up to the school and said that, but she sent that email, and I got the email. I got your message, but I'm going to be highly involved with what's going on at the track team, Coach Simmons, and as I made in my speech up there, don't underestimate me. So I'm gonna be there. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Thank you. We'll get a picture with everybody. You want me to stand on me? And last but not least is the Cahaba River Society Beth and Ben.
I don't know which way to go here. We got a great audience and this wonderful council and the mayor, and we wanted to be here tonight and just thank y'all so much for the funding you provided to us. You not only made it possible for us to get a lot of work done for the Cahaba River and Shades Creek here in Irondale, and I think many of us feel that we're very fortunate to live close to such a gorgeous natural resource as the Cahaba River. We want to see Shades Creek become even more of a beautiful resource for the community as part of, we're just we're blessed with these wonderful environmental resources here in Irondale that make life wonderful here. And if y'all haven't been down to visit the Moon River access to Cahaba River and the one at Grants Mill, Moon River's off 78, I hope you will. They're just beautiful places to go and see the river. It just looks wild and natural right in the middle of the city. We're very fortunate to have that. So I wanted to give you all a short a summary of some of the things that we've gotten done with your support over the last year. So not only are we getting things done in Irondale, but everything we do for the river, particularly upstream, is protecting the river and restoring the river as it comes through Irondale. And I'm sure those of you who are familiar have seen the Cahaba getting pretty beat up. The flooding is getting worse, stormwater runoff's getting worse. That's happening throughout the whole watershed. And so it's so meaningful to us to have support in a local community like this. I just wanted to share a few of the things we've done. So our volunteer program is really significant, and I hope if some of you are with businesses or civic organizations and you'd like to volunteer, get hands-on, get wet and muddy with the river and help clean up the community, you'll come be a part of that. Will Rayner leads that program. Just in Irondale alone, we've had 8 work days in the last year. With our stewardship program, we've led 141 volunteers. We've cleaned up 2,200 pounds of litter. We've gotten 848 pounds of tires out of the river. We've got 1,095 pounds of privet and other invasive plants that we've cleaned out of these special environments along the river to help restore the river. We've helped improve the trails at the Irondale River Walk and keep them from eroding. And all of these cleanups are so important. Irondale, particularly the Grants Mill canoe access and trails, is the most heavily used access to the Cahaba River in the entire upper watershed. It's got the most people that come to it. They come because it's beautiful, it's clean, it has good trails, and that brings business into the city because those folks are looking for some facilities and support and gas and all of that when they come to town. It brings partners together. Besides the city, the mayor has personally been involved. Councilor Cuellar has been personally involved in some of these activities. We really appreciate it when y'all show up and help bring partners to the events. We've also had the city of Birmingham involved, Motion Industries, Friends of Shades Creek, UAV, Stewart Perry Construction, Freshwater Land Trust, Mom's Basement, Jefferson County Stormwater. So those are a lot of partners we're bringing to support this in the city. We want to get more of our clean environmental education program into the schools. We've to date brought, for the entire program in the entire Cahaba watershed, we've brought over 40,000 students into the river for hands-on science. They're wading in the river, they're canoeing if they're older, and it's a wonderful program for a lot of kids who just aren't getting outdoors as much as some of us did when we were young. And it's a very popular program. Mayor, we had a chance to organize. You were great in organizing a canoe trip to get some of the principals in the school system with us out to see where we would be taking the students and get them familiarized with that. And we had to reschedule that, and we really want to make that happen again with you if we can find a time to get everybody out there.
Yeah, we plan on going this summer. I just ask that you all pray for me because I don't know how to swim. But
believe me, if the canoe flips, you just stand up.
I told.
Like that big. It's not a thing.
Well, I told them keep me in water that's at least 6 feet and below, and I'm good.
All right.
So we're gonna go this summer.
Yeah.
Put you in Will Rayner's boat. He'll keep you upright.
Okay,
Yes,
Ben.
will.
All right. So we're gonna go this summer.
Yep. We also, and I'm about to turn it over to Ben, we do a lot of work around how is development designed and built as our community grows, as our roads are improved. How is that designed and built to manage stormwater better so that the runoff to the river is not continuing to cause erosion of the banks and mud pollution and the kind of flooding that we see in our communities and our homes and businesses as well. And so that's a huge part of what we do. That's our Ben Wegleitner's our river sustainability director. One of the things we hoped this year was to do a special project with Simply 10. We haven't really moved that forward. They kind of took care of their erosion problems with some rock that the city provided. But we're still working on getting a meeting with them and still seeing if we can pursue putting a pocket park there that will become a part of that Apple study trail system that y'all are working on. And hopefully we can convince them that that would be a great benefit to their project, to their business, as well as to the city and the citizens to have a beautiful pocket park where they can easily get into Shades Creek in a pretty place. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ben.
Yeah, Beth mentioned some of the stormwater work that we're doing because of the support that we got from the city of Irondale. We've launched a partnership with the Nature Conservancy and some other support from the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham to do a regional collaboration effort on stormwater issues throughout the Cahaba River watershed and the upper watershed. So over the next year, we'll be continuing to prioritize problem areas. So counselors, if you know of areas where there's a lot of erosion or a lot of flooding within your districts, please get in touch with me and we can get those on the prioritization mapping and onto the list. This partnership is also going to be working to attract funding, some of the great federal funding that's coming down through the state. There's just this big pool of money to do projects addressing stormwater and non-point source pollution. The partnership will help with some of the permitting that's required at the state and federal level. So this large regional collaboration is really looking to retrofit older areas of town with minimal stormwater infrastructure and then repair damaged areas like the area along Shades Creek near Simply 10 and potentially some others near Flora Johnston and elsewhere throughout the city of Irondale and upstream. We've had great success responding to citizen concerns when they identify pollution out in the watershed and working with the public works staff and some of the upstream partners like Trussville, Birmingham, Jefferson County to stem those active pollution areas. I'm talking about active construction sites, dumping areas, things like that. So the support that you all have given has been fantastic for that. My only ask before we step away from the council this evening is that you keep Cahaba River Society in mind as development comes in front of you, as these opportunities for community growth come in front of you. Keep Cahaba River Society at the table. We can help give advice on green infrastructure and stormwater that will be protective of the river to keep these resources for all these wonderful citizens. So thank you.
Thank you.
And we do have some reports and for all the council members in there.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Read about our. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, can we get a picture with you?
Oh, yes. Oh, pictures.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, sir. At this time, we look for any department head reports for this evening. Any department heads for a report? Fair enough. We'll move into the council reports. I'll go ahead and get us started. The one thing I just want to highlight is this is kind of the second month where we've seen the contamination and the recycling kind of trending down. Prior to, we were always kind of running in the 30s on our contamination, and And now we tend to be, our most recent reading was about 25% contamination. And that's the second month in a row it's been in the 20s. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. And I just want to thank Frank and the guys from Public Works. Obviously, you know, the recycling facility in Birmingham had a fire. It became kind of inoperable. We weren't able to use it. Public Works was able to find another recycling facility. So if you saw the headlines, but you noticed your recycling still got picked up, it didn't go to the dump. We found another place to take it. So a little bit further away. So from a gas cost standpoint, that did bring a little elevated cost to the recycling program. But the facility is actually cheaper in order to conduct the recycling. So it seems to be kind of a net wash on the cost of it. So I just want to say thank everybody for taking care of their recycling and doing it the right way. And big thanks to Public Works for, you know, kind of tilting and pivoting really, really quickly in order to see that recycling program continue. That's my report. Councilman Sims?
Thank you everyone for coming out. I think everyone's kids are probably out of school already, so enjoy the summer with your kids. And that's all I got for now. Thank you.
Councilman Box?
Just echoing Councilperson Sims, welcome to everyone, and I have no report tonight. We'll keep it brief.
Fair enough. Councilwoman Cuellar?
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank our Public Works Department for the Overton Road and overseeing that whole project. Many residents are very pleased to see that going underway. So thank you so much to everyone involved with this. Also, as Mayor Stewart noted, that there was a grand opening at Flipsy's, and in speaking with Jeff, the owner, Jeff Schenker, he and his staff have invited our Irondale residents to take a look at the numerous selections that they offer in their store. So if you haven't heard about it or been by, please stop by and take a look at it, because they really have some really wonderful selections for your living, dining, bedroom, and patio needs. Thirdly, I was unable to attend the car show at Classic Car Motoring this weekend due to another commitment, but I heard a lot about it, heard that it was fantastic and a really great success, and I hope to attend it next year. Also wanted to mention our library summer program for June and July. I forgot to bring the calendar, but they have lots of activities planned for these 2 months, and I'd like to invite our Irondale residents, their children, to stop by the library because they have some really neat activities planned. Congratulations to the Irondale Middle School boys and girls track teams. Great job. And I also want to thank the Cahaba River Society for their update and our Public Works Department for working with them to really improve the areas. It's been really neat this last year to see all the wonderful work that's been going on there. Two other things. I've been getting some requests on updates for the dog park at Ellard Park. Do we have any updates on that as to when that's going to get going?
Yes, the update for that is the bid. The bid invitations will go out on Friday,
Thank you.
and it'll be a 3-week process. It'll be published in Birmingham Times, AL.com, and it may be Huntsville Times. Lee, you know what the other one may be? The other publication? Frank, what were the publications that you, Huntsville? So it'll be published and it'll be ready to go this Friday.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last thing I was going to ask our council members if we can, looking at the month of July, our council meeting is scheduled on July the 4th, and I'm wondering if we can move it to July the 11th. Is that possible to do that?
So you would basically have two back-to-back,
Yeah, if that's not a
second
problem.
and third?
Yeah. That would be the 11th and 18th, or could be the 11th.
And I respect the desire for people to probably go on vacation that week as well.
Yeah,
So to me, that makes sense.
yeah. Is that good for the rest of council?
Councilman London?
No, not for me, because I was gonna miss one that month. If you
Okay.
Put them back to back. I'm gonna be out for 2.
Okay.
So I'll be out of town that second and third week of July.
Okay.
What if we made it the 18th and 25th then?
Yeah, we'd have one the next week also.
That's
August
what I
1st.
mean. But
3 weeks. That'd be 3 in a row now.
that would be 3. What about the 10th? Or the 6th? July the 6th.
I don't have a problem with that, but
I
July
would
the
say
6th?
I would say for us operationally, it'd probably work better to do it on the 6th.
Okay. Is that July the 6th good?
that works for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
That's a no-go.
The 4th is a Tuesday. So,
4th is my birthday too.
right. That's a holiday.
I was gonna sacrifice my birthday.
Well, that's a
But
holiday.
later in the week, I may be. I'll be
That
gone next
that's a holiday.
When's your
you know?
birthday?
No, I recognize that
Yeah,
July
and-
4th is the holiday.
And
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
expect the council to be here on a holiday.
You out that week?
No, I'll be fine.
3 to 5th.
But if the council agree,
The 6th.
as long as my birthday present is big, I'll stay.
Listen to you. Well, I mean, we
6th.
can.
Okay. 6th it is.
The 6th it is.
What I do second.
Thank you, John.
We
We'll
can
have
get,
we'll have a light agenda so you all won't miss it.
appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
If we could just get that written up and we'll just go ahead and put it on next agenda. Thank you, Councilwoman Cuellar, for bringing that up.
You're welcome, sir.
Does that conclude your report?
Yes, that concludes my report.
Fair enough. Councilman Linden?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I just have 2 things. First, Chase Valley Boys basketball want to give the council an award for appreciation for their support, for your support for their basketball team. So I want to give that to the mayor. He can hang that next to my free throw trophy if he wants to. So. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
It's all right.
But just a shout out, the farmers market. We're excited about that. I just want to thank Lieutenant Brasher. Did he leave? Lieutenant Brasher was at the Holiday Gardens meeting a few weeks ago. It was mentioned, why can't we have a farmers market? And man, 3 days later, I got an email said we're having a farmers market. So I just want to shout out to you, Lieutenant Brasher, for jumping on that. Thank you for that. Holiday Garden is going to be very excited at the next meeting to hear that we're having this farmers market, and Irondale deserve it. We was talking about it earlier. Irondale deserve it, so we're excited about that. But then one thing I'm upset about. Went to the car show on Saturday. They had a 1985 Monte Carlo, man. Man, I should have kept mine. Should have kept my Monte Carlo, Mayor, because it was just like.
I had an 82 Trans Am.
Get out of here. Theirs was white and mine was black. I should have kept my Monte Carlo. So I'm upset. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for all of that. Next up would be reports of boards and any non-council committees. Greetings.
I'm Mike Davis. I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce. I just wanted to give you all an update. I meant to be here last month to do that, and I work out of town a lot, so just want to come today and kind of give you a review since y'all have given us money, just to let you know what we're doing. We are actually gaining traction with businesses in the community. We were a major sponsor early on with the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. We also had the Lunch and Learn that I spoke about before, that it was social media for your business. We had 42 people show up. It was a great turnout. It gave us an opportunity to hopefully get more new members to join the chamber, and it helped the business people with their social media. The feedback was really good. We now are on track with luncheons. We've got a luncheon this Thursday. Paul DeMarco is our speaker.
Nice.
We also are planned out through the rest of the year with speakers. So we've come a long way with that. We also are going to have another lunch and learn in July. So that'll be good, and hopefully we'll tag that to more about social media, the next level for your businesses. We also are planning a golf tournament now, which is on September the 18th, and it's going to be here in town. And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, other than I'm an old guy. At
Pine Tree.
Okay, so Pine Tree Golf Club, we're gonna have that. Then, on October 28th, we're gonna have a special event at the Irondale Civic Center. It's gonna be for businesses, it's gonna be for the parents, and it's gonna be for kids. There'll be more information forthcoming on that, but we're already set up with the city to do that. That's really all I had. I wanted to just give y'all a quick update and just appreciate y'all's support tremendously. Y'all are helping us a lot this year. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other reports from any boards or non-council committees? All right, fair enough. We do not have any public hearings tonight, so we'll go ahead and dive into the deliberation of agenda items only. On the consent agenda, item number 1 would be resolve the resolution 2023 R69 would authorize Mayor James D. Stewart Jr. to execute a service agreement with Irondale Mounties Youth Sports LLC in the amount of $5,000 for the holding of a community youth football and cheerleading program in the city of Irondale in the fall of 2023. Mayor, is there anything you want to say on this or as we introduce it?
No, we gave a donation last year to be able to help to jumpstart the football team, and they're just requesting that we provide support to be able to help them to get off the ground this year as well.
Okay. Councilman London, any comments?
No comment.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Just two, and I I just had two questions. Are these funds budgeted?
Yes,
And what is our source of funding?
community programs.
Thank you. No further questions.
Councilman Box?
No question.
Councilman Sims?
I just want to ask how many teams, I guess, different age teams were fielded last year? So I guess one team to each age group?
Yes, and then you got
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And I don't have any questions on this. Do we agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 2 from the consent agenda was asked to change the wording a little bit, so I'm going to read it the way I have it. Resolve the resolution 2023 R70 authorizes the Irondale Farmers and Makers Market as a public event. I know, Mayor, you've already talked a little bit about this. Councilman London, any questions on this?
No question.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
For the benefit of everyone that's here, I got answers to questions from Lieutenant Brasher. First, I want to thank him for all that he did to make this happen, along with Mayor Stewart. The hours will be 8 to 12 every weekend, beginning June the 17th. Fees are going to be $20. It is a growers market, but they will have craft and value-added products that will be available, such as canning, making jams, things of that sort, as well as food trucks. And so the fees are all the same, $20. And this is just, I'm very excited about it. And I want to thank you both for everything that you did to make this happen. And it will end on August the 19th.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Councilman Box?
I guess when you say a growers market, is that talking about that you're not having someone say go on to another city somewhere, buy a load of cantaloupes, and then come sell them at the farmers market? These are all going to be grown by the individual presenting them for sale.
According to the lengthy presentation I sat in with the State Department, I would say that's correct, Lieutenant, right? Yeah, it's even to the point where people may come and we will go to their farms to make sure that they are not, like you said, going to the farmer's market, buying something and then coming over here and trying to sell it. So that is one of the safeguards that's built into the program.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. No further
Councilman Sims?
I think it's a great idea and looking forward to it. So thank you. No questions.
Looking forward to it as well. No questions myself. Do we agree to keep this on consent?
Yes.
All right. On the regular agenda, unfinished business, ordained that ordinance 2023-03 rezones the property located at 5238 Amber Hills Road, Irondale, Alabama 35210 from a R2 residential district to an I1 light industrial district. I know this had its first reading in my absence, so it's just up for a majority vote. We don't have to go through on the process of this. Councilman London, any comments on this?
No question, no comment.
Okay. Councilwoman Cuellar?
No comments.
Okay. Councilman Box?
No comment.
Okay. Councilman Sims?
Actually, were you at the planning and zoning when this came through?
I was at the planning and zoning.
What, I actually didn't think to ask till just now. What was the result of planning and zoning when it came through?
So the original iteration did not have the property divided.
Correct.
Just being, because I'm not that intelligent, I'm just going to call it the Christmas tree property. Okay, we got the top of the Christmas tree and then we have the base of it, right? The base of the Christmas tree kind of goes over the mountain and touches some residential over there. There were some concerns about water. As presented, it failed. There was then an opportunity to kind of, I don't want to say subdivide, but leave off the bottom of the Christmas tree as residential, and the triangular portion that goes towards Alton Road would be what would be rezoned. They ran it through county. The county has the capability of doing that sort of thing. So that's why it's here presented tonight, and it did not have to go back through P&Z. Legal, am I phrasing that moderately correct? Okay. Okay. So that's why we're able to kind of deliberate this again. So originally in the iteration, to answer your question, it was a no-go, but once it was looked at as being divided,
Keep residential next to the residential.
there was some better feelings about that.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's how I know of it. And then I do not have any other questions on that as well. Item number 4, ordinance, ordained that ordinance 2023 amends the Chapter 6 Fire Prevention and Protection of the Irondale Municipal Code to add Section 6.7 entitled Firing Investigation Division. I don't know if there's anyone that wants to speak on that. Chief, I know this has got your name on it, but I know you're wearing multiple hats right now. So would y'all like to hear from Chief McDaniel on this? Okay, come on up, Chief. Councilman London? You're good? Okay. Councilwoman Cuellar?
I don't have any questions, but I would like to hear from him on it.
Okay.
So this is just to take our pieces of the department that do inspections, investigations, and different items in that realm, create that division, but it's also to help us so we can send people in that division to the police academy to have their APO certification, to be able to issue citations related to fire code violations, and if we have any kind of arson investigations, to be able to do a lot of the things that we would need to do for those. Some of those items just require you to have that certification, and this is what a lot of the fire departments around us and I know in the state are doing with their divisions as well.
Yeah. Councilman Box, any questions for Chief?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Councilman Sims?
How many firefighters do you anticipate, I guess, sending or doing that with, or to be part of this division?
You want my long-term goals or?
Sure.
Ask him short term.
Yeah.
So probably 2 at most right now.
Okay.
So this is just kind of the first step before we can even move on to get this done, to be able to get that. It's still going to be a little bit of a process. So
Thank you.
It sounds like you're kind of formalizing something that you already kind of have to do, but allows you to get sort of different certifications and things of that nature.
right, and there's some parts that's a piece of that like I said, that they can't do, or we have to call a police officer off whatever they're doing to come assist with that. That would just free up them to be able to do what they need to do, and not have to add their work to it. So
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. All right. So now that the deliberation is finished, and there will be time for public comments here in just a moment, I would ask for a approval of the form of the agenda.
Motion to approve the form of the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then after that, I would ask for an approval of the consent agenda.
Motion to approve this consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Now that we have an agenda, I would look for any public comments on agenda items only. Ideally, you would have grabbed a sign-in sheet with name and address to give to our city clerk so that she doesn't have to watch Facebook for the next 10 hours. But please come up. I'm going to put a 2-minute limit on comments just because there's so many people here. Other than that, at this time, we would accept public comments on agenda items only.
My name is Jerry South, Gonzalez Strength Consulting Engineers, and I'll get you my address. I didn't sign in. 1550 Woods of River Chase, Hoover 35244. I have brought some documentation. This has to do with the zoning case, Amber Hills. Try to address some of the issues that have been brought up. And
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Mayor James and the city of Irondale, city council, I'm just going to read this, so I'll get my part done quickly. As representative of the applicant, I am providing you with several documents that illustrate the 10-acre parcel with adjacent uses per the city council meeting. The applicant requested the change in zoning to I-1 for the portion fronting Alton Road and approximately 2.3 acres of the subject property fronting on Amber Hills to remain zone residential. Attachment 1 is a site plan which I have presented before that illustrates the Christmas tree as we've discussed it, and it shows that the bottom of the tree, so to speak, remains the residential. The the triangle shape would be what we're requesting the I-1 to be. Attachment 2 are sight lines from Amber Hills Road that will give locations of the building and will not be seen at the elevation from Amber Hills Road. And that's the one that has the sideline. It shows the view from that. It shows the bottom line is the existing ground, and then the sight line is the dark dash line across the top of that. Attachment 3 is an aerial view of the property and proposed building and adjacent properties. The property is wooded, adding additional screening from Amber Hills Road and surrounding properties. And you see then that aerial view is heavily wooded, and it would, the perimeter of that would remain so. Attachment 4 are street views. Photos 1 and 2 represent the access from Alton Road, which is where they intend to access, and we'll have a separate address for that location as well. Photo 3 is the Amber Hills Road and the west side of the subject property, the Avant property. This is per tax records. And this lot's tree line is approximately 290 feet from the Amber Hills Road. And let me also point back at Exhibit 1. I will show that the distance of the building is approximately 500 feet from Amber Hills. So that's important in these distances I'm giving here. So the view, photos 1 and 2, I'm sorry, photo 4 is portion of the subject property fronting Amber Hills Road. As you can see, the tree line comes all the way to Amber Hills. Photo 5 is from the east side of the subject property, the Brasher property. Again, from tax records, that was the title. This lot's tree line is approximately 170 feet from Amber Hills Road. Give these distances, there remains a distance to the proposed building of over 200 feet of forested area, as illustrated in the photo number 3. Attachment 5 is page 34 from the city of Irondale, zoning that locations of light manufacturing. I-1 district is designated to allow for light manufacturing, along with being near major transportation routes, which is the use of Alton Road. Attachment 6 is section 417-1. Uses permitted in I-1. The services provided by B&D Electric with that, that is allowed in item number J of that zoning ordinance. Since the process has started here with that rezoning request, B&D Electric location has been checked by the Health Department, Sewer Department, and Fire Department. I personally measured all interiors of their building, prepared a drawing, provided it to the fire department, and their only request or modification that they wanted was they wanted reflective signs on the interior of the exiting doors, interior of the doors. That was for in the event that electricity's off. All other inspections did not have any deficiencies. In summary, this owner applicant desires to rezone a portion of the property that fronts Alton Road to I-1 light industrial. Alton Road is an industrial corridor and more compliant with the adjacent zonings of I-1, which is also illustrated in the drawings I provided you, that I-1 is the adjacent zoning on Alton Road to what they're requesting to rezone. Thank you. Any questions?
Do you have any questions? He is technically representing the company, so if you have any questions, now would be the time. All right, I think we got it. Thank you, sir. Any other comments on agenda items only?
My name is Robert Yvette. I live at 5214 Amber Hills Road, been there almost my whole life. The property in question to me is the problem is when they go from housing, they go from residential to industrial. Things change, they put no paperwork, and things change dramatically when things get going into motion. That's my issue with all this. The whole property is residential too, which a lot of things can happen in the R2. But the thing is that we just have to be careful, because one thing gets moved, the next thing gets moved, the next thing gets moved, and the next thing you know, it's all changed. And that is the major issue with what we have. And like Ms. Schreier, she's over here at the other end of the house, and I'm over here. And that little Christmas tree part is what's the part of the question. And he goes back over here on the road. The address they have is 5238. It doesn't give anything about the address. And so the 5238 is between Shire and ourselves. But the whole property goes back across over the hill back to the Alton Road. And then a lot of things change about it, like I said, when things get in motion. And you don't know what's going to end up this whole part. And so, and that's really my whole part of this. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments on? Yes, sir.
Allow me just to reiterate what Robbie said. We're not just putting buildings on a piece of property. It would be zoning, which comes within feet of their property. So the bit about the trees and so on, every one of those trees could be taken down. If the total piece of the property is rezoned to industrial, and additional buildings could be built. I'm sure you folk know all about that. But I'll go a different route here. Rezoning this parcel runs contrary to the stated city objectives listed in Blueprint Irondale. The current and proposed maps show zoning reflecting the retention of the residential zoning. Blueprint Irondale is a comprehensive document developed for city governance. I would ask that you stay the course and deny the rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the gentleman that will probably speak for his daughter as well.
Can they stand here?
We'd love to hear you from the microphone. Yes, sir.
You folks. All right, so I have a placard here.
Sir, can you give your name, please?
Pardon, Lane Dennard,
Can you-
retired firefighter,
Thank you.
City of Birmingham. My family owns a property on Alton Road, across, I think it's across from where the entrance is to be.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a photo here taken of the B&B building that they're in now, and it shows the placards here, hazardous materials placards. So it's showing the explosive, and it's a fire hazard, and it's not easily transportable. I have some information here from the National Fire Protection Association website quoting placard 704, which is a placard here, right here, 704. Identification system identifies the degree of severity of health, flammability, and instability hazards. NFPA 704 placards are required for any business or commercial building that has a quantity of hazardous materials equal to or greater than a total weight of 500 pounds solid, 55 gallons liquid, 200 cubic feet of gas, or where a radioactive product is used, stored, or handled. B&D electric placards, Pleasant placards show number 4 red will vaporize and readily burn at normal temperatures. Number 3 yellow may explode at high temperatures or shock. This is see the yellow and the red. Per conversation Mayor shared with local fire stations off Alton Road, December 2022, Birmingham Fire will not enter the building unless they are told exactly what is inside the building. They will wait for a call back from owners when they arrive. Irondale Fire Department stated they would not know what was in the building, do not have records on the local business, will not enter the building until they know. Again, the placards are required only when sufficient amounts are present on the site. My daughter owns the property there on Old Alton Road. My family has had the property since the 1950s. And my daughter, my granddaughter, my great-granddaughter have been planning, we've been working on the house to remodel it, planning to move in there where the entrance is going to be to this thing. And I understand that they transport 24 hours a day. And so it's going to be right in front of the driveway where my grandchildren are planning to live. So I'm against it, and I don't think it's totally, I don't say anybody's dishonest, but I think it's not, anyway, not presented with anything to benefit us on it.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments on? We got 2 that stood up at the same time. If y'all want to flip a quarter.
I'm going to start reading a letter on behalf of Linda Bailey due to a fall and a subsequent surgery. She wasn't able to be here. Regarding water runoff 5461 and 5457 Amber Hills Road, 5461 is the first stop of water runoff from under 459 to up the hill of Amber Hills. Property located above the freeway bridge and toward the mill toward Monroe Drive. All water from the homes above us is diverted to come under 459, which overpowers us. The driveway is okay, but the supposed drain could barely contain the water spill off. The results are the ditch is all broken up, the water's going under the ditch, causes large holes in the yard, danger for us to maintain the yard, loss of the front yard. Too dangerous for us to contain the embankment, water settling and standing in the front yard causing bugs. The ditches above 459 are clean and taken care of, so they don't have water issues, but the impact to us is not considered. Now, how this relates to the rezoning. Once projects are completed and closed, the burden then goes to the property owners, same as this project. For instance, if water issues are not found, maybe during the dry season, the problem may not be found out, for example, until the rainy season. Speaking for Miss Linda, I live in Irondale, pay taxes in Irondale, and just ask that I be given the same consideration as other residents. And now I would like to speak for myself. I'm Holly Walker. I live at 5388 Amber Hills Road. This morning, I took my boys and my niece and my mom for a little hike at Red Mountain. And to get to the park, we went through an industrial park. And guess what we didn't see? Homes. I grew up on Amber Hills Road, went away to college, got married, moved back, bought a home, bought our land 19 years ago. 11 years ago, I brought home a baby boy, and now God has blessed me with 2. And I'm raising them on Amber Hills Road. I want our neighborhood to remain as it is.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments on agenda items only? Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Domingo Villeda, 5327 Amber Hills Road. I just want to I want to pick up on our last meeting. I believe we had some questions about our members having not having an idea exactly where this building is going to go. Again, I want to apologize for the second grade drawing on those pictures on the bird's eye view. Picture A depicts 2060 South Lane, which will be adjacent to the subject property. I have the original letter from the owner, which was signed back January 16, 2023, when all this started, and he is against it. Picture B depicts the industrial buildings that one of our council members had questions. Yes, 2 buildings do exist next to this property, but you can see how close they are to Amber Hills Road. They are not up in the hill. They are about 10, 15 yards from Alton Road. Picture C depicts an idea of where Monroe is. We did have questions last time where exactly how far that was from the subject property. As you can see, it is over the 459 highway, which is roughly about a mile from subject property. And the last photo depicts Hall Lake, which is Mr. Wayne's property. Hall Lake runs to Abe's Creek, and Abe's Creek runs tributary to the Cahaba River. Also, we already heard about how important it is to care and protect the river. I believe we also donated a grant to Cahaba River Society. I do have a confirmation from Cahaba River Keeper, which is a nonprofit organization that defends the ecological integrity of the Cahaba River and its watershed. They did confirm that runoff from the Amber Hills community, at the end of the day, everything runs to the Cahaba River. I do want to remind you guys about the environmental crisis that we had in Leeds not that long ago. I hope those bird's eye pictures is able to give you guys an idea of how this property is located, and it's just surrounded. If it's not surrounded by property on Amber Hills Road, it is surrounded in Alton Road and Self Lane Road, and in front of Mr. Robbie's residence as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And to confirm, I'm against this.
These are, just a quick PowerPoint without the computer. Sorry, what we brought up at the last meeting, which is we questioned the I-2 zoning, based on the current issue and what we see. One is that, of course, Lane Dennard spoke to you about the fire hazard placards, both explosive and flammable. There's also hazardous material on site that's being transported off site on a regular basis. That was confirmed during your audit. The EPA Birmingham District, which is the Birmingham Fire District, said that they would not be, that they still had flammable substances inside. And there's other armature works here in Irondale, across the railroad tracks. They don't have a placard because they don't have that amount of chemicals and products there that meet that requirement. You know, restaurants and such, they have a lot of oil and things that are flammable. They don't have placards because it's not as much as what's contained here. You know, the contaminants that are being washed off their old motors, they can have lead, grease, whatnot. They're going to be absorbed in this grease oil separator, but it still has to be trucked off. Irondale zoning also says that the equipment has to be easily transportable. It's not easily transportable. This is a very large motor. I think I've shown you that picture before. That was December 28th. It also says they can't store scrap and junk. They have a lot of scrap and junk. It's an entire alley, not next door to them, but right down the street from them. And it says B&D on the side of the building. The other thing, it says there can't be any smoke or vapors. That is a chimney. The Irondale zoning says it has to be contained on the premises. If it's contained on the premises, it's not vented. Don't vent vapors into our community. Another not easily transportable, this was taken in March. There was only about 3 or 4 sets of pictures taken, random days, end of December, middle of March, right before our last meeting. And the more not easily transportable. These are delivered. You know, this company says we have no project is too big. They do, you know, they do work for everyone. We're just saying, not in our neighborhood. What are we going to see from our side of the hill? This is their wash station. This is their forklifts moving their stuff around because it's too big. They can't pick it up. I'm sure they have a lot of small people like myself bringing in an engine that needs repair, but they have a lot of commercial business that's coming into that area. A few minutes up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. May I speak on behalf of people who signed letters?
You just need to give names or
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. At our last meeting, in the January meeting, we gave you 26 letters of individuals who said they did not agree for the zoning to be redone. In whole or in part, the letters were sent from Amber Hills Road to Burns Lane. So it encompassed Monroe Drive. It encompassed Reese Lane, Wayne Road, Self Lane. So you had 26, and today we have 2, 4, 6, 7 more, plus the one that Domingo had, and I don't have that, but Jerry Ayers, 5767 Amber Hills Road, Barbara Hogue, 5427 Reese Lane. Daniel Bailey, 5457 Amber Hills Road. Linda Bailey, 5461 Amber Hills Road. Robert Krim, 5176 Amber Hills Road. Laney Duran Jolly, 2174 Wayne Road. Jennifer Brown, Lane Denner spoke about her. That's the property across from the driveway. 2110 Alton Road. And Daryl Weiss. He's here, and he doesn't speak. I have his letter. 5215 Amber Hills Road.
Thank you.
And we make these part of the record, because the other ones were just discarded.
Legal, do we need to make that part of the record? No. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments on agenda items only? Without any further comments on agenda items only?
There's someone else.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor and council. I live at 5214 Amber Hills Road, and we have beautiful trees that probably will not be so beautiful when you look up there and see this eyesore that's going to be up there. This picture right here was taken 1 hour after sundown this past week of the lighting at D&B Electric. This was another picture that was taken 1 hour and 10 minutes after. Look how bright those lights are. Those lights are going to be visible to us from up there. This picture is 1 hour and 15 minutes after sundown. This is an Amber Hills shot from 5276 toward Alton Road, directly in front of 5238. You see how pretty that is? That's a beautiful picture. You know, that's God's creation. That's a beautiful picture. This right here was taken, the angle in the field from 5276 up to that property. To me, that's beautiful too. I have two wonderful grandsons, a seven-year-old, and he spends a lot of time with me. And I don't want him to have to look up there because he thinks we live in a beautiful place. They don't live in the country like we do. And I just want it to be nice for him. You know, I want him to want to come to Mimi's house because she's got a beautiful place to live. She doesn't have eyesore sitting up there on the hill. So I'm adamantly opposed to this, adamantly, because I would rather see this every night when I go outside than to see this every night when I go out. So I vote and I say no to this.
Thank you. Any other comments on agenda items only?
Daryl Weiss, 5215 Amber Hills Road. Thank you, council. Thank you, mayor. This is a little picture of my farm. Like I said, I'm right across the street. We love this area. Like I said, it's residential. One of the biggest issues, like I said, I know everybody's hammered on the environmental side, but I think really I wish you would look more at the luminous side, the brightness, the lights, and that kind of consideration. And besides that, I think I've just been repeating what other people have said, but I wish you would consider the lighting as a problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments on agenda items only? With no further comments on agenda items only, I say we go ahead and move into the business portion. At this time, someone could go ahead and introduce item number 3 under unfinished business.
So since it's already had its first reading, we don't have to suspend rules for consideration?
Correct.
Or
You
we
do
need to
not
start that?
do not need to go through the 3-step process. It would be moved just like a resolution, but obviously it being an ordinance.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So we make a motion that ordinance 2023-03 be approved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. I'll do a roll call on this one. Councilman London?
No.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No.
Councilman Box introduced it. Councilman Sims seconded it. I would vote no. Motion fails. Thank you. If someone could go ahead and introduce item number 4, and this is going to go through the 3-step process.
Make a motion that ordinance number 2023-19 be considered read.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion that we suspend all rules that prevent the immediate consideration of ordinance 2023-19.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
Councilman Sims?
Yes.
And myself, yes. And finally?
Finally, I make a motion that ordinance 2023-19 be adopted and approved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. That concludes the business of the agenda. At this time, we would take any public comments to the council on non-agenda items. These are items not deliberated upon.
Thank you for suggesting that I go to that meeting a couple of weeks ago between Irondale and the Lone Corporation. Finally, we all are in agreement about what the zoning is. After all these years, all this time, we're all in agreement. So thank you to April, thank you to Greg, thank you to Brad, thank you. So here's the agreement. This is light industrial, this is residential. So thank you for letting us come to that conclusion. The first thing the representative from the Malone Corporation said was, we knew when we bought this property, this industrial site, that it wasn't going to be big enough for our needs. So we bought this residential property. What he means when he says not big enough for our needs, they're going to be bringing in tractor trailer trucks. And I know you're tired of hearing about some of this stuff, but just bear with me. Those big round steel, what, I don't know the right word, rolled steel. That's the kind of thing that you get behind on the interstate and you go, man, I hope that sucker's tied down really well. That's what's going to be coming and going from this site. And the question is, with this property, can he do it without using the residential area? Okay. I wanted to just show you what Queenstown Road looks like. This is where the site is. You can see there's a corner here. You go around a curve. This is all the garden homes that are being built in Trussville. There are more garden homes that way. People are using Queenstown Road as an access because they don't want to get on Highway 11 because Highway 11 is bumper to bumper. So they're using Queenstown Road instead. So there are a lot of commuters on Queenstown Road. Okay, this picture's 2 years old. I'm not showing it to you to show the mess because there's a lot more at this point. I'm showing it to you to show you the angle. Okay, this is the curve. You're coming around the curve. And in order to get onto the industrial lot, you're going to have to take a really sharp turn. You're going to have to, it's less than 90 degrees. So if you were to take a 90-degree turn, it would put you on the residential property. You're going to have to take a sharp turn. A tractor trailer with those big round steel things is going to have to make that sharp turn. And there is no, by the way, there is no shoulder on the road right there. As we know, it's a ditch right there. So we're concerned about whether or not this lot, we know it's industrial, but can it be used by the Malone Corporation for the purposes that they have in mind without using this? And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments to the council on non-agenda items?
My name is Christopher Metcalf. I live at 50 Old Leeds Road and I've been a resident of Arndale since 1979 in various houses. And I was shocked today to see, or this week, to see that we are cutting down more trees on Old Leeds Road, turning into an eyesore. We let the EWTN group take all their trees down and make a big parking lot. And now they're cutting down more trees on Old Leeds Road. When are we ever going to stop cutting trees down? It's not in the blueprint of Arndale that we should keep trees. We're just cutting them down, cutting them down. That's my one question. My other question is that we've talked for 18 months or more about Mr. Towns putting trees around his project up there. And the only thing we grant them is to keep building more and more houses. Now he's put a brick wall up to make more houses in there. When's he going to get on and do some planting? I mean, I asked that question.
Well, the one about Old Leeds Road, we can't control EW. We can't go tell EWTN they can't cut trees down on their own lot. We can't tell the people that purchased the land for the Publix development that they can't cut down trees on their own lot. That's when government begins to overstep their boundaries, when they tell a private property owner what they can do on their property, especially when it comes to trees. So the trees is not our issue. The trees is with the people that own Cahaba Crossings. The trees is with Price Hightower on his property. But we don't have an ordinance to tell people you can't cut down trees on your own property.
Okay, I want to ask you another thing. When Publix came up before your administration came up, it was said that Publix was going to be facing EWTN and now it is facing Grants Mill Road, and that area has slowed down to really a small area. And I've never seen a plan, and I've asked people in other areas. No planning has ever been shown to the people of Arndale about that property you're developing.
Well, before they could do all of the stuff that they've done on that property, they had to submit their plans to the inspection department for them to be able to do it. And if you saw Message with the Mayor, or if you go home and watch Message with the Mayor tonight, you'll see the plan for the development. It lays out everything and even shows you the stores that's going to be a part of it. So, Chris, there's no way we allow somebody to just come and build, and we didn't know exactly which way the facility was going to be turned.
Originally, it was talked about, but no one was ever shown any plans on it.
Well, I think the key word you said,
Things were turned around.
talked about, is the key word.
Yeah, talked about. But no people in the resident were shown what Publix would look like, and it's an eyesore. On the other hand, I want to ask you. I know that this charming young lady says we're building it because within 2 miles of that is a lot of high value people who've got high income there. But what about the rest of the people who live down here? The rest of the people who are on the Trustville area? We're going to provide a bus service to get people up there to shop there?
Mr. Metcalf, I think you need to schedule an appointment with the mayor in order to kind of get some of this out, because I appreciate the fact that you're doing it in a public meeting, trying to get some things on record and everything. But I have a feeling we could probably be here for a little while talking about your individual concerns, which I'm not trying to lessen by any means. But it sounds like a meeting with the mayor would probably be in your best interest in order to take care of your concerns.
I have tried to have a meeting with the mayor, but he's a very busy man.
He is a busy man.
Well, let me say this. There's not a moment in time, Chris, that you've ever come down here to have a meeting with me that I haven't met with you.
Well, that is
so
correct.
I don't even see how you can sit up and say that. I would turn around to the audience, because I've always met with you when you come down here. Even when I'm in a meeting with somebody else, I come out in the hall and have a conversation with you. So that's an incorrect statement to say that I never
Thank you very
met
much, gentlemen. We appreciate your time, sir. Thank you. Any other comments to the council on non-agenda items?
Motion.
Motion?
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Y'all have a fantastic evening. Thank you very much for your time.